he taught classes. Those were always fun.
Was he funny?
Yeah, he was funny.
Okay.
I remember when we were out getting wings, and I like said to Jamacan.
You asked if we could get Jamaican jerk chicken. All right.
Now it's fun.
Hey Joseph, what do you remember about Mr. Logitatus?
Yeah, cool, fine, not man.
Yeah.
Wait, don't that picture yet. Wipe your mouth.
All right, Julie, I think you were our longest, earliest student, and I think Mr. Logitatus was next, wasn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. One of my best memories of him is when I introduced him to my clients my students over at Mobile Work, and they couldn't pronounce Logitatus, and they called him Mr. Logitato. And when I called Susan Felton the other day and told her that he was in the hospital, she said, "Not Mr. Logitato." So I still remember.
And how long was he at Mark with you? Was it almost a year?
At least a year, maybe a little more.
Okay.
Yeah, and he donated all the money that we paid him to help me teach. He donated back to Mobile Work.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
All right.
really, he was a treasure.
All kind of stuff. He was my sparring partner for over the past decades.
And I think he would always, and even after you started getting the best of him, you would lay back and he would tell you what, not to ease up.
He's and he's like, hey, just wants to explain how you do this here. You switch your feet like this. How do I have to lean back on the kick when I beat your bit and stuff like that. But he was supposed to order scorpion wings tonight. He never did.
So, I don't know. We're gonna have to work up to the scorpion wing, so we're not in shape for that. Okay. All right, Cher, you're the only one in this group that's not in the Taekwondo group. You're his outside friend. What's up with him?
So there's an interesting thing. He would come in, like we'd sit down at a bar or something like that, and he was like always saying, "We gotta have a joke." So a Greek, a Korean, and a Russian walk into a bar, and we're supposed to have like a punchline.
I don't think we ever finished the punchline. We started the joke.
Never
Okay.
had one, but that was like an ongoing thing. Like what is it supposed to be? But we never figured that out.
We were definitely the only Greek, Korean, and Russian crew running around in Daphne, I believe. So.
We never finished it. Maybe that's supposed to be like that.
All right. Vicky, what you got on Mr. Logitatus?
Oh my God. He is such a funny guy. And always this is most important. Very nice looking. They always want to talk to me, and I wonder why. And I realized that he just basically loves to talk, and he talks to everyone. And I'm going to miss him.
Oh, and you had a great musical tribute to him on Facebook. That was great. I appreciate that. Thank you. You were asking me before you did it what his favorite music was, and this guy was just a fan of all kinds of music, mainly 70s music, because that was his era. But he listened to everything, and I know he and I would sit there, and any song that came on the radio from the 70s, he knew it. So that's why when you asked me about his favorite, he knew all of it, right? So.
Cody Green come today. We are going to play music.
Oh yeah, definitely need to do that.
We have to change that last minute. So, well, it's all good.
All right, Colin, you've been away at college for a couple years. Been a while since you saw Mr. Logitatus. What you got on him?
So the funniest moment that ever happened to me when it was voting around that time. I didn't notice, but as I was filling out all the stuff for that, he randomly snuck up behind me, and I turned around. I was like, "Who is this guy?" And then he took off his mask. He was like, "Hey, it's me, Mr. Logitatus." Oh snap! So he came up out of nowhere, and we talked for a few minutes, and I did remember he used to brag about me a little bit when I was doing my forms and all that. So I appreciate him for being one of my best teachers in martial arts and all that.
Awesome.
Also, thank you, Mr. Kim, for teaching me about Taekwondo and all that. And thank my brother too for bringing me into that world.
I always had one of your family members in the school for the past. Well, you know, your Jaron, your father was the first student. The first week I opened up in Daphne in like 2003. I can't remember, 1993. And then you were a baby sitting there, and then Colin was in there, and I'm just glad. So you guys got to train with the man, Mr. Logitatus. All right. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi.
What you got on Mr. Logitatus?
He spiked everybody's beer and Blaine Joseph.
Oh yeah, that's a full-time job.
No, actually, Nick inspired Joseph to work harder and be stronger, and I've always been appreciative of that.
Thank you. All right, Pam, I was talking to Julie saying that Julie is, I think, is our oldest, longest student. I think he might be next, or were you?
He was next.
And then
yeah.
you were his like training partner because you guys were the same rank, right?
Since second degree, because he missed a board break.
Right.
He was at one rank, 1 year ahead of me, but he missed a board break, and I think in second degree. So we've been together since then.
Yeah. And I think the past couple weeks when you've been in class working on your form, because you were both fifth degrees, you were always together in your little group, and it still hadn't kind of registered with me because I'm still like I'm working with you, and I'm thinking, oh, Nick didn't make it tonight. You know, there'd normally be the two of you training your forms, right? But
It's been a little surreal thinking that there were several landings that he really hated. His knee would go out and stuff like that. And then there were several moves that he just really never caught on, even though we've been doing it 10 years now. And there's times when I'll choke up.
Yeah.
At those moments. Well, heck, just being senior student all the time, I can get choked up to do the tennis and stuff like that.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.